Hello everyone, Namaskar and welcome to my channel Maths Guidance. So this is going to be the second lecture of the chapter 3, that is coordinate geometry. And so far in chapter lecture 1 we have discussed basically about the introduction of this chapter, that is coordinate geometry. So in second lecture we are going to discuss broadly what is the Cartesian system, the coordinate axes, the coordinate points and the quadrants, and one thing more, that is two new terms we are going to discuss. One is abscissa and second one is ordinate. Okay, and we will get to know the ordered pair. Of course I had already discussed this one, ordered pairs, and in the last part of the chapter is the graph of y equal to mx plus c. If we are not able to discuss in this lecture, then we will go to the third lecture. And of course the problem solvings, which I always keep for my students, the problem solving, that is the heart of the chapter. So let's start the chapter 3, lecture number 2, and I hope you are liking the videos, you are enjoying my video. So friends, let's start Cartesian system. So first of all, let us start with a backflash. We already know that how we place points on a number system, since we have studied in our first chapter, that is number system. What we do, we take a line, horizontal line, and we take a fixed position, we tell it origin, and from that fixed position we place equal points such that 1, 2, and at equal distances 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like this, and we call this positive. Okay, we call this side positive and we call this side negative. Negative 1, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. So this we have already discussed in number system. This was the idea of René Descartes, that when he started introducing Cartesian system, he took two such lines. He took two such perpendicular lines. Okay, two such lines perpendicular to each other, and then like this. Suppose he has taken this one line and one perpendicular to this, like this. Two such lines he has introduced. One can be like this, one can be like this also, like this. Both are perpendicular to each other. Okay, like here, and third one, it can be like this, like we have described in number system. It can be like this. Okay, but he took this one. He took these two perpendicular lines to introduce the Cartesian system. So we will discuss from here, keeping in mind this one, and we will now see the various terms involved in this Cartesian system one by one, so that it will be easy for us to study this one. So first of all, let us take this one, this line. This we will call x dash and this x. Okay, x dash x. Here it is origin. It will be 1, it will be 2, 3, 4, like this. It will be -1, -2, -3, and -4. Okay, so we will call this number line x dash x. This side it will be positive and this side it will be negative. Okay, we will take another line like this. We will take another line like this, vertical. Here it will be origin. It will be plus this side 1, 2, 3. It will be minus this side -1, -2, and -3. And we will name it y and y dash. So what we have done, we have taken two lines. One is x dash x and one is y dash. So we will follow this in this chapter, these two vertical lines, horizontal lines and vertical lines, these two lines perpendicular to each other. And what we do, we connect these two lines in such a way, we combine these two lines in such a way, like this. We combine these two perpendicular lines in such a way that the two lines cross each other at this junction, that is called origin. Here it was and here it was, so we place it like this here, so that this will be the origin. Okay, this will be the origin. Now this, here it is 1, here it is 2, here it is 3, here it is 4, here it is 5. Now this side it will be 1, 2, 3, like this. Here it will be -1, -2, -3, -4. It will be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, like this. So we combine these two lines in such a way that they cross through this origin O. Okay, now this will be the origin, this will be the positive direction of the x-axis, this side. This we will call positive x-axis, positive x-axis. Okay, this side it will be negative x-axis, negative x-axis. This will be positive y-axis, positive y-axis, and this side it will be negative y-axis, negative y-axis. So these are the directions: negative, negative, positive, positive. Okay, now we got to know these two terms: the positive x-axis, negative x-axis, positive y-axis, negative y-axis. Okay, let's see some other things, some other terms associated with these things. Now what you observe, that these axes, this is positive x-axis, negative x-axis, positive y-axis, negative y-axis, and if we take the axis, these two lines or these two axes divide the whole plane into 4 parts: 1, 2, 3, 4. And what, let us see here. So this divides, these axes divide the plane into 4 parts, and we describe it as quadrant. So this will be quadrant 1, this will be quadrant 2, this side it will be quadrant 3, and it will be quadrant 4. So basically this plane has been divided into 4 quadrants: quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, and we name it like this. First one, here it is 1, and we move anti-clockwise like this. We move anti-clockwise. Okay, so what is a quadrant? Quadrant is 1/4 part of that plane. Quadrant is 1/4 part, 1/4 part of the plane created by this axis, created by the two axes. Axis is the plural of axis. Okay, plural of axis. So these quadrants are formed, created by these two axes. Okay, and we move from anti-clockwise. We move anti-clockwise, and then we describe this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Now this plane consists of 2 axes and 4 quadrants. So the plane consists of 2 axes, horizontal and vertical, and 4 quadrants. What we knew from this all these things, that it consists of 2 axes and 4 quadrants, and this plane is called the Cartesian plane. This plane is called Cartesian plane. This plane is called Cartesian plane, or we call it XY plane also, XY plane, because this side is X, this side is Y. We call it XY plane, and the 2 axes are called the coordinate axes. The axes are called coordinate axis, coordinate axis. And what are the coordinate axes? One is x-axis and another one is y-axis. The horizontal one, it is x-axis, and this one is y-axis. From here you can see this is x-axis, and it has also two parts, positive and negative. This is y-axis, two parts, positive and negative. So far we got to know that the axes form four quadrants, quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, and the quadrant is called 1/4 part of the plane, and that plane is called Cartesian plane, and that axes are called coordinate axis. One is x-axis, one is y-axis. Okay, now let's move forward. Let us understand what are the coordinates of a point in a plane and how we write it, how we write the coordinates of a point. Let us take this point P in this plane, this point P in the plane. Okay, so we draw, this is the origin, and we draw one perpendicular from P to x-axis. Okay, let us say this is PM, perpendicular to here. Now the x coordinate, that will be A, is the distance from the y-axis. You see this OM, this is equal to A, this OM equal to A, and this is the distance from the y-axis. This is y-axis, distance from y-axis is equal to A, and the distance from x-axis, this is x-axis, the distance from the x-axis is equal to B. So we write the distance of point P, from the y-axis is equal to A. This is point P, and its distance from the y-axis, this is A, and distance from the x-axis, this will be B. So it will be AB, and we write this is just opposite. The nomenclature is just the opposite. If we write the x coordinate, we see that it is the perpendicular distance from the y-axis. So x coordinate will be the perpendicular distance from the y-axis, that is A, and y coordinate will be the perpendicular distance from the x-axis. So that is B, and the x coordinate is called the abscissa. Okay, these are the two new terms which is being introduced in this chapter, and it will be followed thereafter later on in higher classes also. So you have to remember these two terms. X coordinate is called the abscissa, and y coordinate is called the ordinate. So x coordinate or abscissa is A in this figure, and y coordinate or ordinate is B in this figure. And how we write? We write like this, AB in brackets. First x coordinate, and this is x coordinate, and B is y coordinate, x coordinate or abscissa. Okay, abscissa, and this will be y coordinate or ordinate. So let us understand this once more. The x-axis, the x coordinate will be the perpendicular distance from the y-axis, that is A, and the y coordinate B, that will be the perpendicular distance from the x coordinate, just opposite. Okay, so how we write? Distance of point P from the y-axis equal to A, and distance of point P from the x-axis equal to B. So x coordinate is perpendicular distance from the y-axis, and the y coordinate is perpendicular distance from the x-axis. Okay, just remember these things. And the x coordinate will be abscissa, y coordinate will be the ordinate. How we write the points, how we write the coordinate? We write it like A comma B in the brackets. Okay, and A will be the x coordinate, y will be the B will be the y coordinate. Like A is abscissa and B is ordinate. Okay, later on we will see the sign conventions. Just now we are going to discuss the sign conventions, but for the time being, this is point P, AB. The coordinates of point P are A, B. A is abscissa, B is ordinate. Okay, let's move forward. Let's understand first the sign conventions of quadrants. Okay, so we have four quadrants: quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and this one will be 4. So how we keep the sign? Okay, plus minus. So this is the positive x axis, this is positive y axis. So the first quadrant will be plus plus. You have understood that how we write the coordinates of the point. We write first x coordinate, then y coordinate. So the x coordinate will be plus here, and the y coordinate will also be plus here. And here the x coordinate will be minus and y coordinate will be plus, because this is enclosed with by this negative x axis. So plus plus minus plus, here both will be minus, and here it will be plus and minus. So how do we write it? If a point is, first of all, if a point is in first quadrant, if a point is in first quadrant, means the point is here, it will be in first quadrant, then it will be of the form, then its sign will be plus plus, okay, because it is enclosed by the positive x axis and positive y axis. As it is enclosed by positive x axis and positive y axis, as I told you, this part of the plane is enclosed by this positive x axis and positive y axis, so it will be, the sign will be plus and plus. Second one, if a point lies in second quadrant, if a point lies in second quadrant, then its sign will be, as I told you, minus plus, minus and plus, as it is enclosed by negative x axis and positive y axis. As you can see here, this side it comes negative, this side it comes negative x, this side it will be positive and this side it will be negative. For y, this side is positive and this side will be negative. So this part is enclosed by negative x axis and positive y axis, so it is minus plus. I think it is clear. Now it when the if a point lies in third quadrant, then its sign will be minus and minus, as it is enclosed by negative x axis and negative y axis. As you can see here, this is negative x axis and this is negative y axis, so all the points lying here will be minus minus, of the form minus and minus. Now the fourth one, if a point lies in fourth quadrant, then its sign will be plus and minus, as it is enclosed by positive x axis and negative y axis. You can watch here, this is positive x axis, this is negative y axis, so the points lying here will be of form plus and minus. So I hope this is clear to you. You can remember this figure, the quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, signs will be plus plus, minus plus, minus minus and plus minus. When we solve the problem, it will be more clear. Okay, so let's solve one problem. Let us solve this problem. This will give the clear understanding of the whole chapter. Write down the coordinates of each of the points P, Q, R, S and T as shown in the figure. Here it is point P, here it is point Q, here it is point R, here it is S, here it is T. So we'll solve it. First of all, this is point P. We will draw perpendiculars from here to x axis and to y axis. So what we see, let us write the coordinates of P. coordinates P, what we can see, this is from the y-axis the distance is 2, okay, that will be the x coordinate, and from x-axis the distance is 4, so that will be the y coordinate. So x coordinate is equal to distance or perpendicular distance from the y-axis, and in this case from the y-axis distance is 2, so the point will be P 2, 4. We can write it like this, 2, 4, and both the points will be positive because it lies in first quadrant. So quadrant of P is 2, 4, x coordinate, and y coordinate is perpendicular distance. Here it will also be perpendicular distance from the x-axis, okay, and this point P will lie in quadrant 1. As you can see, this is quadrant 1, okay. The signs also I have told you, this will be plus, so we don't write plus. If it is minus, we will write, but this is plus 2, plus 4. Similarly, this will be of point P. Second one, let us take point Q, okay. So we will drop perpendiculars here and here. So directly we can write the coordinates of Q as 4 and 2, okay, because this 4 is the perpendicular distance from the y-axis, 4, and this 2 is the perpendicular distance from the x-axis, 2, 4, 2, and it will lie in quadrant 1, okay. So I am not writing these things, you can understand. Now let us see question. Third point was PQR. Yes, R is here, so we will draw one here and one here. You can see that this R is lying in quadrant 2, okay. So in quadrant 2 the x coordinate will be negative and the y coordinate will be positive, and you can see that the distance from the y-axis is minus 2, so minus 2, R will be minus 2 and 3, and it will lie in quadrant 2, okay. Now minus 2, x coordinate will be minus 2, distance from the y-axis, and the y coordinate will be 3, distance from the x-axis. It is clear. Now let us see this one, S. We will draw two perpendiculars like here and here. So this S is having x coordinate, how much? This S, the perpendicular distance from the y-axis, so it will be 5 plus 5, and this here it will be minus 3, and it is lying in quadrant 4. As you can see, this is quadrant 4, and the sign convention was plus and minus, okay. Now we will see this one. This one is point T. So this point T is lying here it is the point, if you can see. So this point T is lying in the first, second, third quadrant. In third quadrant both the coordinates will be negative. So let us see, this x coordinate will be minus 4 and the y coordinate will be minus 1. So minus 4 and minus 1, and it lies in quadrant 3, okay. So see this minus 4 x coordinate, what I am writing, it is the perpendicular distance from the y-axis, okay, minus 4, and this minus 1, that is y coordinate, is the perpendicular distance from the x-axis, minus 1. So everything I have discussed here, in which quadrants the points are lying, what are the signs of the coordinates, and what is the coordinates of the point in terms of x and y coordinate, okay. So 2, 4, point P, it will have 2, 4 coordinates, point Q it will be 4, 2, point R it will be minus 2 and 3, point S it will be 5 and minus 3, point T it will be minus 4 and minus 1, okay, minus 4 and minus 1. This one will lie in quadrant 1, this one also will lie in quadrant 1, this R will lie in quadrant 2, this will lie in quadrant 4, this will lie in quadrant 3. So all the quadrants we have captured in this question. So I hope everything is clear now. Now let us conclude this lecture here only, and we will come to lecture 3 for the question and answer parts. Okay. Friends, in lecture 2 we discussed all these things, all these points. One is Cartesian system, the coordinate axis, the coordinates of a point, and the quadrants, the 4 quadrants, and we saw how we write the sign conventions. Okay, the sign convention is accepted all over the world. It is just only the convention. Okay, so how we describe it in 4 parts and write the signs: plus plus, plus minus plus, minus minus, and plus minus, all the 4 quadrants. And we understood this through one question in which all the 4 quadrants, the points in all the 4 quadrants were involved. So I hope these things are clear to you. And only one theory part, that is the graph of y equal to mx plus c, is left. We will cover in the 3rd lecture along with the question and answer session. Okay, so I hope you are liking the video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.